How many of you in here want to do a startup or want to become an entrepreneur? Simple raise of hands. Come on. Round of applause. Good number. That's a very good number. Now, tell me something. How many of these startups that get started every year, they make it to the finish line? How many of them?
Only 10%.
Probably only 3%. It is being said today that if you throw a stone in a city like Gurugram, whatever you call it, it will either hit a dog or a software engineer which is probably doing a startup. Now, what does it take to make it to that finish line? Today, I'll share an ideology that I follow, which is helping me make it towards that finish line. I come from a very small village in Haryana, and coming from village, I have a little better connection with the roots of my family as compared to all you Sahari bachas. And I applied the same in my business, and it has helped me immensely. So I'm going to share with you 5 ways how to keep people before business. Number 1, and the most basic one, they're humans. Treat them like one. Isn't that so obvious? Let me share a small story with you. This one fine day, I was just coming to my office, and being an entrepreneur, you have so much of pressure on your head, there's so much going on, and you might not be in the best of your moods a lot of days. I met this first employee, and I literally shouted at him for something that he did. And I walked to my cabin, sat down. The moment I sat down, I realized that I might have just spoiled his day. He might be feeling terrible. And I decided to correct it. What did I do is here in front of you in terms of the screenshot. I messaged him saying that I'm sorry, say what you wanted to say, and I'm really happy with whatever you're doing, I'm impressed. What it did was, the guy came to my cabin, we sat down, had a great conversation. Probably the best conversation 2 of us have ever had. The point being is that to me, there are 110 employees today. But to him, I am one boss. Which means, whatever I talk to him, it means only 1% or less than 1% in the overall impact of the day that I will have. But whatever I talk to him, it will have 100% impact on his whole day. You're trying to compare 1% with 100%. The idea is to be 100% to 100%. Whatever you talk to them, it matters. So talk to them in a way that really helps them, that makes them happy, not unhappy, not spoil their day. Right? And humans are not just the employees that work with you. They're also the ones who leave. Right? Just because somebody decided to leave doesn't mean that you will be mean to them. Isn't it? At wittyfeed, what you see in front of you right now are basically pictures from farewell of an employee who decided to leave us. What we did was, we give them farewells, we cut cakes, we give them gifts, we speak with them, we probably sing, and celebrate the moment because the person has decided to move on. Point being, the guy has decided to move on. He has done nothing wrong with you. Everybody remembers the last day at their job. The idea is to make it a memorable one. And not for the ones who will leave, but for the ones who will stay back. If you do that, your employees will respect you. Moving on, point number 2. Point number 2, see, these guys are humans. Now, if we move forward, it's not just about having a life at the job. It's not about just the job. They have a life beyond the job as well. And the moment, as a boss, as an executive, as a manager, if you care about the person's life beyond just the job, the guy is yours always. When I see somebody who is not smiling in my office, when I see somebody who is not very happy, I just walk to the guy and I talk to him. I ask him, what happened? Why are you not happy today? Let me tell you, Just the incident, the very incident that I go and talk to them, it matters to them. The very moment I speak to him, it changes his mood. And in a situation where I can make him share his problem, he might be having a relationship issue for that matter. He might be having a fight with his girlfriend. He might be having, a family issue. He might be having a family financial issue. All you have to do is just sit down with the person, share your experiences, hear him out, and help him out. If you do that, the guy is sorted for your life. My point being, if you do things which are beyond your KRA, the person will also do things which are beyond his KRA. He'll be yours for the life. Point number 3. Never ever give up on the people. So let me tell you one more story. The guy on your left, in the picture that you see, is Mr. Junaid. Junaid bhai is our first employee. When he came, he was basically a cabling guy, hardware guy, LAN cables, etc. He would install LAN cables, etc. in the offices. He was the poorest example of, the best example of the poorest English that you could imagine. He couldn't even imagine there is something called social media in the world. There is something called, viral content, and you could actually make, one of the largest content platform in the world. But we hired him. We hired him as a designer. In 3 years, today, the same person is the director of design for a company which is the second largest content platform in the world. Story number 2. The guy on your right, Mr. Sunil. He is son of a farmer. And I've been to his house. He belongs to a place where there is no electricity. His house is still a kacha house, built out of sand and etc. When his father came and visited our office for the first time, I still remember, he stood outside our building, and I'm from Indore, and Indore, there are no large, huge buildings. There is a 9-story building in which we have our office. Our office is on the 9th floor, and it's probably one of the highest buildings that you would have in the city. He stood outside the building. For 15 minutes, he was asking just one simple thing. How do you make these things? How do you make something so high? He literally went around the whole building through stairs, just figuring out how did they make such a huge building. That's from where Mr. Sunil comes. Now when he came and we interviewed him, I was interviewing him, and he said, "Sir, let me tell you one thing. This is going to be my last interview. You hire me or you not hire me." I said, "Why? What happened? I haven't even started." He said, "Sir, I have given at least 50 interviews in the city. I go to everybody. They ask me, how is your English? They ask me, can you communicate very well in the English? Can you write good emails in the English? And then they ask me, how much code do you know? And they give me all those complicated tests. Nobody is ready to teach me. I don't know stuff, but I want to learn stuff. I have no idea. I'll just go back. If you don't hire me today, I'll just go back and start doing, I'll join my father and do the agriculture itself with him." We gave him a chance. Today, Sunil is, in just 2.5 years that he has spent with us, Sunil is product manager of the most complicated piece of technology that we have ever built. He is the product manager of that particular product, and he leads the product. My point being, there were a lot of times when somebody could have terminated them. Somebody could have just fired them. And we felt like it's just not going to happen. They are never going to make it. But we didn't give up on them. We decided to stay with them. Today, Junaid and Sunil are two strongest pillars of wittyfeed and are true example of loyalty and respect that they have for the organization. It drives people today who work for us and every single person who ever joins us. It happened because we believed in them and we did not we never gave up on them. If we have ever hired them on the basis of skill, we would have never hired them in the first place. The idea is to believe in people, not on the skill sets that they have. The idea was that everybody will vote for the person that they believe has done the most fantastic job last month and has been the best family member. And the first winner out of that exercise was Barkha auntie, and this was the video when she was given that award. Every single person in our office believed that Barkha auntie is probably doing the most important job in the office because she does what she does literally better than anybody else is doing their own jobs. My dear friends, I will leave you with just one thought. If you take care of your people will take care of your business. Thank you so much.